Turtle Island.
Yo, what's up? Party people of planet Earth, my name is Tonye Aganaba, and that fine music you were just listening to is by one of my favorite local groups. They are called Curtis Clear Sky and the Constellations. I dropped the link for you in the chat there. Please feel free to get to know that band. They're incredible. All of their music is, music for a movement. The soundtrack to the revolution. Beautiful stuff. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Tonye Aganaba, and I am joining you today from the sacred homelands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh First Nations, otherwise known as Vancouver, if you would like to call it that. I am absolutely delighted to be your host with the most today for Ignite Live, a concert for people-powered justice. In a couple of seconds, I'm going to go over the schedule for this afternoon. We have 2 hours together. But first, before we get into that, I just want to take a second, first of all, for my own self, just to take a deep breath in. Thank you very much. Before we get into the absolute fabulosity that is the afternoon we have planned, I just want to take a few minutes to center myself and all of us in this moment where we find ourselves. Today is July 11th, 2020, if you believe in the Gregorian calendar. If you do pay attention to that calendar, you will know that July 11th, 1990 was the date of the Kanasatake and Kanawake siege, otherwise known as the Oka Crisis. This was a grim example of just some of the deeply held systemic racism that exists in our society, the reliance on police presence and militarization to deal with conflict with Indigenous people, and of course, the dedication that the state has to expansion and extraction at all costs. That is still the modus operandi today. And it's just heartbreaking to understand and realize that we're still there. But that's why I'm here at this event, is because I know that some of us are searching for truth and searching for new ways of being. 30 years ago, the story of what is called the Oka Crisis barreled into the headlines with incredible force. But then, as is the case now, the struggle was over land, stolen land, being claimed by settlers to expand a 9-hole golf course. A golf course. Embarrassing. It's hard to imagine that there are days even more shameful than July 11th, 1990, but we've seen them ourselves very recently. At the beginning of this year, Canada was locked in action across the nation because the RCMP, at the direction of the province of so-called BC, invaded the sacred lands of the Wet'suwet'en and Secwepemc people. The siege of Kanasatake and every siege since unknowingly paves a way for the resurgence of Indigenous identity on Turtle Island. And these continued acts of aggression and violence and erasure, disenfranchisement that the state perpetrates, they don't know it, but it's inspiring and radicalizing Black, Indigenous, other POC, and all of our accomplices to engage in the work of decolonization and to push to the forefront conversations about what it actually means to be here. Some of you came here for music today, and some of you came here for conversation, but deep down, I think that all of us are really here to seek truth and to find community. Like I said, that's why I am here. So we have an incredible couple of hours ahead. We've got some amazing performances by some of my favorite artivists, that is, artists who are engaged in the work of activism. We have Dakota Bear, we have Ndidi Cascade, as well as a riveting panel that's going to be exploring some big ideas, blue skying new ways of being, and trying to dream a truly just future for all. That's going to be featuring some of my great pals, Naomi Grace, Corrina Keeling, and the absolutely unstoppable Amita Kuttner, who is running for the leadership of the Green Party of so-called Canada. What a brave soul. I just want to go ahead and say that politics sucks. What a brave soul. All right. So now that I've given you a little bit of an overview of what's going to be happening today. Oh, I forgot to mention there will be a small dance party. Tunes selected by yours truly. I will drop a link in the chat for you to follow along. All of the artists that are chosen for this event are local artists. Support local music because that's the right thing to do, especially in this pandemic situation. So, like I said, my name is Tonye Aganaba. I am very happy to be the host with the most. Actually, I don't have the most. The host with a little bit of some things. I'm very happy to be in that position today and to be able to strike up conversation with some of the incredible people that we have here today on this call. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce the first performance today. The first performer, his name is Dakota Bear, and it's his incredible work with Idle No More, the missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls and two-spirited people, as well as some of the amazing actions that he has had a huge hand in creating and participating in with the global strike movement. I love the way that Dakota has intertwined his music with his desire for to see social justice in this world. And he inspires me so much. And I'm really grateful that we are able to have him here today on this call. Drop questions in the chat if you have questions for Dakota. He's here, and I hope that he will jump in and speak and answer those questions if people have them. So without any further ado, this is Ignite Live, first performance, Dakota Bear.
I'm doing this work.
This song is titled Freedom. I wrote this song last year.
We must do something, and we need to do it now.
There was a lot going on here on these lands globally.
Where I'm coming from.
It inspired me, so here it is. The people are standing together, there's power in numbers. We will not fall where you want us. We learning the laws you throwing upon us. You throw us in water, we notice piranhas. The people, they needing a leader, just know that I'm on it. I'm honest in everything that I do. Every word that I write is true. The people that get it, they know that the picture is bigger. So pull up a seat and you listen. You putting your fists in the air, you know the resistance is here. You're here, off in a distance. We are the kids that you dismissed. We are the targets you just missed. We are descendants of healers and chiefs. Just know that our struggles are brief. Just know that we one in the same. I'm from the prairies, the plains. I'll go my hair out until I can braid it again. I'm no longer ashamed. I promised our people our hardships will not go in vain. You hear my voice in the melody, carry the pain. I do not do this for money or fame. I just wanna be me. I just wanna feel free. Is that too much, should we ask? Look to the future, but learn from the past. I know that sometimes we clash, and it's just life. Chances ain't handed out twice. I'm out of my word and I'm out of advice. I just wanna feel free. We just wanna live our lives. We don't wanna have to worry. Tell me, can you help me? It don't seem like you've been in a hurry. You playing judge and jury. I feel I'm under siege. Get the matches, burn the sage. Chapters over, turn a page. Author of my destiny, but they telling me differently. We just wanna live our lives. We don't wanna have to worry. Tell me, can you help me? It don't seem like you've been in a hurry. I just wanna be me. I just wanna feel free. I swear we've been doing the most. I packed my suitcase and moved to the coast. I promise the next time I come to the city, I'm bringing hope. I'm bringing you, and it's bigger than music. Together we started a movement. Together we stand, we shaking the earth as we moving. As soon as you look for the answer, you see the solution. Our minds are as clear as the water as soon as you see the pollution. We want the freedom and not the illusion. We are the warriors, the ones that you read in the stories. We are notorious. I just wanna feel free. We just wanna live our lives. We don't wanna have to worry. Tell me, can you help me? It don't seem like you've been in a hurry. You playing judge and jury. I feel I'm under siege. Get the matches, burn the sage. Chapters over, turn a page. Author of my destiny, but they telling me differently. We just wanna live our lives. We don't wanna have to worry. Tell me, can you help me? It don't seem like you've been in a hurry. I just wanna feel free. As indigenous people, we have many different ways of telling our stories, many different art forms. I choose to use hip-hop as a way to express myself, tell my truths, and tell my stories. This one is called Lullaby. I was so young when you ran away. Hopped on a bus and I think you went that away. I spent my childhood believing that I was the reason for my mama drinking and treating these days like they Saturdays. I swear I had Saturdays. How did they think that I'm doing it? I got the key in the drive to get through it. How did I do it? They doubted me, about to be one of the greatest, undoubtedly proud to be a father when I never had one. They're teaching me gotta be giving my all and it feel like it's taking the life from right out of me. I need you to see all the work that I put in. I'm close to the edge and I'm losing my foot and I'm losing my head, and I know that I shouldn't. I gotta be strong. Promise my uncle we bout to be on. Getting the money, your problems are solved. Building a business, you all are involved. Watch me evolve, pick myself up when they want me to fall. Don't want a piece, man, I'm wanting it all and I'm coming for it. I tell you the truth, this life is exhausting. Wanna be rich, yeah, what is it costing? Wanna be homies, but what if they cross me? My mind is lost in the sauce and I'm flossing. My mind is lost. My mind is lost and I'm feeling it soften. Wanna be rich, yeah, what is it costing? I tell you the truth, this life is... They look at me, they think I'm a criminal. I put the work in while they doing minimal. I speak the truth in my interviews. This for the people that been abused. This for my teachers that told me I'd never be nothing. The cops have been cuffing me up for no reason. Sometimes I'm losing my faith, it get hard to believe in. A part of me even feel like a part of me leaving. Now wearing my heart on my sleeve. And what more do you want? Keep pushing me and I'll give you the waters you want. My demons come out to play. I feel there's angels that watch over me. They want me out of the game. Lost everything but I still got a lot I could gain. Imagine if I never hopped on that plane. Imagine if I would've listened to every diss they've been throwing my way. They said I never get paid. They said my flight was delayed. Put it to rest. Put it to rest. Give him my lullaby, yes. I give him best. But still I would look in the mirror and I'm never impressed. Forever obsessed. I tell you the truth, this life is exhausting. Wanna be rich, yeah, what is it costing? Wanna be homies, but what if they cross me? My mind is lost in the sauce and I'm flossing. My mind is lost. My mind is lost and I'm feeling it soften. Wanna be rich, yeah, what is it costing? I tell you the truth, this life is exhausting. You don't know who you been messing with. I'm the man in everything I do legit. Even in my darkest times I never quit. Even when I trip I got a level head. I went to the darkest corner, came back with the devil's head. They been trying to take my rights away. You don't say, we been out here fighting snakes to this day. This card here, it don't expire. You been tripping, getting high. If you think that you could take this all away, to this day, they been tripping to this. Who are you? Don't tell me, I don't wanna know. They been doing talking, but no working, yet they wanna blow. Young Geronimo, my dad said sorry, you're on your own. Yes, I get to rapping, yeah, they wanna show. Never took no shortcuts, yeah, I always took the longest road. They asked me where I'm from, take a look at my tattoo. From the dirt, I done grown, I did things I had to do. You don't know half of the battles I went through. I see haters line them up and slide them through. I walk what I'm guided to. Keep that fire inside of you. Silent moves is all that we've been making. This part has been taken. I've been working for a decade. Oh, how I've been patient. The bears are coming out of hibernation. You don't know who you been messing with. I'm the man in everything I do legit. Even in my darkest times I never quit. Even when I trip I got a level head. I went to the darkest corner, came back with the devil's head. They've been trying to take my rights away. You don't say, we been out here fighting snakes to this day. This card here, it don't expire. You been tripping, getting. If you think that you could take this all away, to this day, they been Let me take you back, so far back, 1857. They made an act, then another one to take the kids and break her family, spirit of famine. Tell me when you taste the medicine. I've been doing this for so long. Oh Lord, our ceremony, so I guess we outlaws, rolling with the top down, and I swear we only growing bigger. I wasn't born a quitter. You come to my territory, you wouldn't last the winter. Had to fight the odds, play the cards that were stacked against me. Hack the system, now you can't convince me that my card expired. Don't know why, but I made it through the fire to this day. Yeah, I know they tripping. I put the real into my verses, cause I know they listen. You don't know who you been messing with. I'm the man in everything I do legit. Even in my darkest times I never quit. Even when I got a level head, I went to the darkest corner, came back with the devil's head. They been trying to take my rights away. You don't say. We been out here fighting snakes to this day. This car get it don't expire. You been tripping, get it? If you think that you can take this all away to this day, they been tripping to this day. Thank you so much. That's my performance right there. That song is titled Expire. So I played for you Freedom, I played for you Lullaby, and Expired. I hope you enjoyed that.
Yo, Dakota Bear, thank you so much for that incredible performance. I've seen you play multiple times, always so powerful, always so incredible. Man, your beats are so fly. We need to talk about who's producing your stuff. I need some of that. All right. So after that incredible performance that has just filled us with energy and power, it is time. It is time to introduce to you the one and the only, my new favorite human being on the entire of planet Earth, Amita Kuttner.
Hi. Oh,
How are you?
Everyone. And I am so filled with gratitude and overwhelmed for everyone joining us here today and sharing their incredible art and activism. And I guess it's just so beautiful. So thank you so much. And I really feel like we're going to be able to accomplish something by all coming together.
I fully believe that. A few of us have been working on this project together called Just Recovery. And part of it, one of the taglines of our project is, it is the artist's job to make the revolution irresistible. And when I see an event like this, I'm like, ooh, filled with such joy, because I understand and recognize that we as artists, as creatives, have an opportunity to be the translators and to help people to understand what is happening around us, because you know how it is. Under the boot of capitalism, we don't have time to like participate in politics. So being able to do something like this and to marry what we love so much about art and music and creativity with, you know, justice is so important. So thank you for understanding and recognizing that.
It's so important, because I think without the artists and the art, we don't challenge what our society is. People just keep going. And we need to be looking at all the details, everything that's peculiar and dystopian, and show the world what a beautiful future we can actually have, and let people's imagination start to flow.
Absolutely. Now, I know you're a big Star Trek fan.
Yes.
There are a few huge Star Trek fans in the room right now. I know that for sure. But can you tell me what is it about Star Trek that you love as a human being?
It shows us what I see as at least partially an ideal future in its very essence. So the fact that I know, fine, you know, they use replicators, but we don't have scarcity, and we can get to a point where we've actually just agreed to take care of one another. Everyone is finding meaning in their lives and exploring whatever that exploration means, internal, external, throughout the world and in all its many forms. And the basics is that freedom that you get from everybody just being provided for, because we've decided that's what matters most, and that equal opportunity of the core of justice and equity.
I think I said this to you earlier, I believe wholeheartedly that Star Trek is a roadmap for us to follow. I mean, yes, there are some problematic things, replicators, Captain Kirk.
a number of problematic things for sure.
Yes, but in terms of what it means for everyone in the community to be taken care of, and what it means for people to just pursue what it is in their hearts that they want to do and not be forced into a career or a job, that's something that, it fills me with a sense of hope when I watch Star Trek. So I'm like, that could be us, but we're just playing. Now, Amita, I know you had some things that you wanted to say. Do you want to tell the people what you're feeling?
Sure. I'll
Give it
give
to 'em.
everybody somewhat of an overview for the context of the conversation that we're having today, and give a little bit of background of where I'm coming from, just so we all get on the same page before we get going. So I'll just go over a casual introduction and follow some of the notes I've written up about what I think we need to get to before we can delve into the details of how exactly we're planning on abolishing the police. So I'll introduce myself. My name is Amita Kuttner. I use they, them pronouns. I am, in fact, an astrophysicist, as you can see from both the textbooks and the telescope. And I also live in a forest. So I'm speaking with you today from the unceded territory of the Sliammon First Nation, also known as Lasqueti Island, which is situated in the beautiful Salish Sea. Also means my internet's a little flaky, so if I disappear, I'll be right back. And before delving into some of the policy, I actually want to talk about politics, because as you said, politics sucks, and I agree. And I think we actually just should talk about that point. So I don't like politics. I'm doing what I'm doing because I feel a responsibility to use my privilege and the access that I have to that system to question it, dismantle systemic oppression. And to be quite honest, my own experience in politics hasn't been easy. It's been full of prejudice and barriers, and I see these presented for so many more people, and just the inability of people to want to participate because it's unpleasant, or the ability to in the first place. And so since I'm in this place, I'm hoping to create the space and basically get enough people, and we just take over the thing, all of us, and reform, question all the things that our system is built from, and overturn it. Because I think, as we were discussing earlier, the rules that are there are arbitrary, and we can rewrite them all and create a completely different world. And so with many organizations that are colonial and inequitable, it's easy to pressure them from the outside, or it's easiest to. Don't participate. It's ugly. Why do it? But with the government of what is called Canada, it's not going to go away or change. The systems will stay there. They'll keep colonizing. So we need to get inside, colonize from within, decolonize from the inside, and really start that revolution towards justice. So I'm not in this for me because it's pretty unpleasant. I am running because I feel the responsibility to do what I can to communicate the truth, get people on board for a different future, perhaps a Star Trekian future, address the systemic violence and oppression that exist. And I think it's necessary that we do that in order to build a sustainable and prosperous future. Without it, we'll be on unstable ground forever. And that's not comfortable or safe for anyone. And I ended up in this place because of my background in astrophysics. I spent maybe a decade, better part of a decade with my head in space, stuck in a black hole. And eventually I took my head out after exploring the depths of what it's like to get spaghettified, and looked back at my dear home planet. And I see us here as a family, and we're not doing a good job taking care of one another. And my heart broke for the systems that we have, the suffering that we inflict on one another. And it's not okay. So I had no choice at that point but to say, you know what, I'm going to fight every single day that I have an opportunity to change this, because I want us to be able to live here for generations, to explore, to become everything that we can be, to live with each other, to live with our world, our ecosystems, where we understand our place in it. And it can be beautiful. And we're so far from that. We're living in a massive dystopia. And what we call Canada has always been sovereign Indigenous land of many, many nations. Canada does not own it. And I know some people here today understand this context far better than I do, and other people, it may be new. So I'm going to give a bit of background as best I can, because it's necessary for the conversations we're going to have. Canada is here as a guest and has perpetrated many, many forms of genocide. The treaties that do exist in some places are not getting land or exchanging land, but they're agreements that settlers can live there. And they're being constantly broken by Canada. And where there are no treaties, Canada is simply colonizing, invading, and existing without permission of any kind. And today, as we recognize the 30th anniversary of the siege of the, I'm sorry if I butcher this, I'm sorry, the siege of the Kanesatake and Kanawake. And today we stand with the Wet'suwet'en. These things are ongoing. There has been no end. There is not, some peaceful existence of Canada as a nation in any way. And that's what we're here to challenge. So as settlers, and those of us who are settlers, because we definitely are not all, we must accept the responsibility to learn and to teach truth and history to our fellow settlers, and to commit to doing the hard work of unsettling, decolonizing, and in a way that is not colonial in itself, because that tends to be a pretty big temptation, solving colonial problems with colonial solutions. But by listening, by following, and by beginning to understand the complexity. And in this, I don't pretend to know the answers. I'm on my own decolonial journey, and I am encouraging others to take that journey. I'm not perfect. I'm trying to improve, but I'm committed to justice and everything that means. So what's clear to me is that we need a movement, one that's founded on justice, equity, has decolonization at its very core, that is credible and has achievable goals, so we can set out that path towards a completely different future, structured in a different way that is comfortable, safe, and we can flourish here as a people on this planet, all of us. And that movement must truly present that beautiful vision for the future. And that's what my campaign is about. Our campaign is about. I'm definitely not here as me, but a representative. So I want to talk about, how do we defund and abolish the police, the colonial force that is the RCMP, redirecting funds to social programs, housing, healthcare, etc., looking at how we actually completely overhaul and reform the many aspects of our justice system, addressing the trauma crisis. That one's personal to me. I've been through a number of traumatic things and have multiple forms of PTSD that I'm constantly dealing with. And it's missing that understanding of each other that I see happening in the way we treat health. Let's consider also what we can be on this part of Turtle Island when Canada admits to itself what it is. And maybe we can have a plurinational state that is actually officially recognized globally. And let's do all of this while building the bridges of understanding and having the tough conversations that we need to have in order to get there, and treat each other and everyone with compassion. We aren't going to solve systemic racism and policing without a complete overhaul. And this needs to be met with replacing it with other services, mental health professionals, community-led safety programs, as well as addressing the causes of crime and the ridiculousness of our prison system, and not having true justice in there for sure. So thank you everybody for being here, participating today, especially everyone that's come to share. My heart is full. I hope this is an opportunity to learn, and especially I hope for me as well. We will be fundraising at the end of the event today, and I want to talk about that a bit because it's not something I'm actually very comfortable with. And that's because I don't like how politics is funded. I don't like how government works in that regard at all. And the parties in the government itself, of course, are colonial entities. So participating in it is and does constantly feel a bit gross, and you kind of have to watch your own process to make sure that you're not allowing it to further colonize you as you go in and work within it, but try to always question it and break the systems down. But we can't tear it down without taking the stage over. And I don't want to take that stage over for myself. I want to take it over with all of you so that it's ours and our future. So given that, if you can and you feel comfortable, willing to contribute, it really does go a long way to carry these conversations forward. But if you're not, I get it. There are so many ways to push, and I hope everyone feels welcome into a movement regardless. And I hope that we do succeed in taking over a political party in order to get our place on the stage. And in that, to me, politics really is a necessity, and we need the people power to take it over. I really hope you have a great time this afternoon. And I am so, so honored that my friend Tonye is hosting
Yo,
So thank you so much.
I am the most honored because I mean, you can't see my eyes from my camera, but there's little sprinkles of tears just in the corners of my eyes. I appreciate I appreciate so much the fact that you are willing to say what we know and understand to be very simple truths, but are so seemingly so impossible to say on a national stage. And you are right. This is an incredible opportunity to eat the Green Party from the inside. And I'm all the way here for that. In terms of breaking down a system, the Green Party is the easiest one. And I hope that we can bring in the energy that's needed in order to really represent the actual people. And I'm so grateful that we have a person that is, a normal person. I'm not saying politicians aren't normal people. I'm sure that they are people.
They seem to be having kind of interesting goals.
I have
I
questions.
haven't quite figured it out yet, but I agree. And with the Green Party, it has not been perfect in any way, in policy, in the way things have been addressed. But I've found a home there because the people there really do want to challenge the system. They want overhauls of everything that we have, and it's just a matter of managing to finally get on the same page and communicate it, and question the still often, if not most of the time, colonial nature of policy and politics.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's not colonial: your platform. Can somebody throw it in the chat here so that people can check it out if they would like to have an opportunity to do that? Also, Ndidi Keeling is here, and I just have to point that out because that's my favorite Zambu. Only certain people will understand what that means, and that's A-okay. All right. What time is it? It's time.
It's time.
Yes.
Time to break up the political conversation with music.
A little bit of music.
Or perhaps this is the preamble to us turning all of politics just
into music?
Into music and art.
Oh, yo. If I could sing motions, I would sing motions all day long at City Hall.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I want to do that.
I mean,
okay.
We got a gang. Let's do it. I am the next performer. Will you do me the honor of introducing me, please, Amita?
I will try my very best, but Tonye Aganaba is one of the most, if not the most beautiful human I have ever met. And I have the absolute honor of knowing, and to be able to share the stage is truly beyond belief and imagination. And I have never had so much faith that we will be able to build the future we need. Being now on the same starship, there is no limit. So without further ado.
Yo, what's up, party people? It's me, Tonye Aganaba, coming at you from the comfort of my living room, right here on Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations territories, otherwise known as Vancouver, BC. It is my absolute pleasure to be here and to participate in Ignite Live, a concert for people-powered justice. Justice, do I want it? Absolutely. I'm grateful to be able to add my essence to the magic of this event. What an incredible, incredible collection of human beings. Dakota Bear, what? Naomi Grace, Corrina Keeling, oh my goodness. Ndidi Cascade, what? Heavies. Some of the heaviest in our community, all people who are dedicated to justice and doing it artfully. And so grateful to be able to have everyone here today to support and to gather around Amita Kuttner, who is running for the leadership of the Green Party of so-called Canada. What an incredible blessing to be able to have a leader that is willing to speak absolute truth to power. Honestly, that's such a blessing. So here we are. I'm going to start my set with a song called Afro Science. All futures rely on science. I think that's something that we can agree upon here. And I'm really grateful to be able to share this song with you. It's new, you won't find it anywhere, but trust, it'll be out one day.
just rely on it. Science, believe me, yeah. I keep checking the sky for the signs that scream can't be deceiving. Yeah, I keep checking the time 'cause it's flying and it's bleeding out, bleeding out. I know it's borrowed like before and it's floating out of open doors and windows. Ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready to come back into you. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready to come back into you. I'm ready, yeah. Well, I'm ready to come back into you. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready to come back in. Ooh, I never thought that I could learn from it, turn from it, give it, go, give it, shoulder that it's ever seen. Yeah, I might have give up on the pipe dream. Ooh, because complexity and all I thought it would be. Yeah, swear that this just might be the golden opportunity to become who I ought to be, who I wanna be, who I got to be in order to be real free. Oh, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready to come back in. I'm ready, to come back in, to come back in, yeah. Said I'm ready, I'm ready to come back in, to come back in, no, no, yeah. I'm ready, said I'm ready, yeah. Back in, to come back in, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm ready, yeah. And I'm ready to come back in. Is it decided that we're divided? Is there a hope in hell? Don't tell me time will tell. I don't got it. This is a future. This is our inheritance. It's evolution. Escaping from that ignorance. A complicated dance, I know. But with it when you're looking for the soul, so the deeper that you go, the structures will implode, making you whole. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready to come back. Can you feel me? I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready to come back. Can you feel me? I'm ready. Said I'm ready to. Can you feel me? I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready to come back in. Is it decided that we're divided? Is there a hope in hell? Don't tell me time will tell. I don't got it.
Thank you very much. This song is called We Ain't Friends. If you ever looked around your circle of friends and realized that one or two of them might be, I don't know, racist? This one's for you.
You can't pretend. Ooh, well, even though you wanna, you have my heart, we're torn apart. Ooh, I let you go, I'm never gonna spin it back one time. Honey, let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it on you, yeah. we'll spin it one time. Honey, let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it on you. Spin it back one time. Honey, let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it on you. Yeah, hey, we'll spin it back one time. Honey, let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it. Yeah, I try to keep it on the level, baby, try to play cool. But honey, all I can do is try to catch your next move. You know I want you, nothing could be more true. Boy, if you only knew all the things I go through just to be near you. Damn, I can't even say your name. Been complete since the day you came. Till my walls down, defeating my pain. Yeah, we'll spin it back one time. Honey, let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it on you, yeah. We'll spin it back one time. Honey, let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it on. Spin it back one time. Honey, let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it on you, yeah. We'll spin it back one time. Honey, let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it. Take a second, cause I reckon we've been put to the test. We incorruptible like modern day Elliot Ness. Give you the best love, show you the rest, cause inducing less stress is all that I dream of. Hot damn, damn, I can't even say your name. Been complete since the day you came. Turn my walls down, defeating my pain. Yeah. Running, running, yeah, yeah. Let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it on you, yeah. Well, let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it on. Spin it like one time. Honey, let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it on you, yeah. We'll spin it like one time. Honey, let's rewind if you want to. I'ma put it. Thank you very much. My name is Tonye Aganaba. It's been a pleasure to perform this set for you. Ignite Live, a concert for people-powered justice. I'm so grateful to be able to add my energy to this incredible mix. Please donate if you can. This campaign is worth your energy and your effort. Big love to Amita Kuttner for taking up the charge, for being the one to step forward and lead us. Amen. Love you very much. Good night.
It's definitely afternoon. COVID is so great. COVID is so great. I'm really grateful for all the opportunities that we get to create art, and how this is making us be experimental and making us show up in ways that are sometimes feel counterintuitive to why we do the art, but it's important for us to do it anyway. This next portion of our programming I hate that word, but oh, I just saw a message in the chat that says, Tonye, you make me feel alive. I'll take that. You know what? This whole thing is making me feel alive right now. I feel lit up. I'm super excited. And I'm feeling especially excited because there are two very incredible people that I am going to invite to the stage at this moment. Janelle Reed. Oh, what's up? I would like to invite to the stage Naomi Grace and Corrina Keeling, two of my absolute favorite human beings on planet Earth. They are going to give a little introduction about themselves. Anel.
Hey all, how's it going? Corrina, would you like to start?
Sure. Thanks. Thanks. I'm really delighted to be here. My name is Corrina Keeling, Asmisha Katrina. My pronouns are she, her, they, them. I'm coming from the also the Chmasquiyam Mission Tsleil-Waututh territories. So humbled to be able to call this place home. And I'm an artist. I have a whole collection of different mediums that I work in, but ultimately most of the intersection of those practices is in being of service to difficult and challenging conversations as a witness and producing work that allows people to see some of the complexities of the conversations. Yeah, and I'm here to have a conversation with Naomi and to some of the other folks that are here as a way of using my privilege and using my power and using the opportunities that I've had to bear witness and listen deeply to communities who are most affected by some of the things we're having conversations about, to just amplify those messages and really make sure that they land in the right ears and in the right minds and in their right hearts, so we can all understand that none of these conversations are actually new and they've been happening for a long, long time. So that's a little bit about me, and these are my plans. Naomi.
I love your plants, Corrina, and I also love you.
I love you too.
My name is Naomi Gracechild, or Naomi Grace is my artist moniker. I am so privileged and honored to be here today in this discussion. Also, I just want to give thanks to the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh people for stewarding the land that I was born on and currently reside. I am so like full of gratitude to be living on these lands, and I want to do whatever I can to be in service of the people who have allowed me to be here and to thrive. I never really know how to introduce myself. So maybe first of all, I'm going to give a shout out to my friend JB, the First Lady, who made these dope earrings. I absolutely love them. I was going to shout those out. Yeah, they're super, super awesome. And also to Layla F. Saad, who is a wonderful writer and wisdom keeper who I can attribute to the quote that's on my shirt here. How do I introduce myself? I am a Blacktivist. I am a multidisciplinary artist. I am a lover of plants and of fungi and a lover of human beings, and I don't see any separation between us. Yeah, I'm also an entrepreneur. So I do equity inclusion consulting, aka anti-racism work with organizations with my consultancy, Euphony Works. And I also have, my side hustle has become an accidental full-time job. Melanin Rising Apparel is my t-shirt, not just t-shirts, apparel company. So we sell personal care products as well as shirts. And I guess the mission is to amplify the voices of the wisdom keepers. And as Corrina said, like these messages aren't new. I just think that some of this wisdom has been kind of like, pushed to the side or buried. And what I want to do is, just to daylight those words and that wisdom. Heather, I love the earrings too.
JB, the First Lady, correct?
Yes.
If somebody wanted to purchase those earrings, how would they do that?
I'm actually not sure. So she has a raffle every so often for the earrings. I just happened to win this time. I was really, really stoked. And that's through her Facebook page, but I'm pretty sure you'd probably find her through her website, which I don't know the URL off the top of my head, but I'm sure that it would be easy to find. JB, the First Lady.
Hell yeah. And to Heather, who said, I love my jewelry too. This is from a Black-owned business in Vancouver called Kali Works. I'll drop the name in the chat for you as the event goes on so you can check them out. And please, Naomi and Corrina, please drop your links in the chat too so that people can talk to you if they want to know more about your anti-racism work, or Corrina, if they want to hire you for graphic recording, which everybody should be doing if they're not doing it already. So we have a very limited amount of time, but I want to check in with you about one quick idea. Sorry, I'm going to circle back. Naomi, you mentioned something, and also Corrina, you did too. And that was that these conversations that are happening are not new. And a conversation that is in the public sphere very loudly right now is the idea of police abolition or prison abolition. Now, what do you think about defunding or abolishing the police? We all know what I think, but I want to hear from responsible human beings.
Oh, I mean, I think that's asking a lot. I mean, responsibility is also subjective, but in all seriousness, I think I want to start by saying I'm also doing some work with the Stratagem conference, and I had the absolute honor and pleasure of doing some graphic recording this morning for one of their featured speakers, Elle Jones, who is a prison abolitionist by trade and as a practice of her entire life. And if anyone wants to know almost anything about prison abolition and abolishing the police, I encourage you to go to the Stratagem website. If you're not part of the conference already, please go and just purchase that session so that you can watch it. And also, as I mentioned, I'm not an expert on prison abolition. I'm not an expert on abolishing the police. But I think that it's really time to allow or to invite conversations that are imperfect about this topic and about all topics that are difficult. Because the question is that prison and the police exist in the consciousness of Canadians because we think they keep us safe. But if you look at the data and you look at the stories, it's not actually doing that. So it's really not just about defunding the police themselves, defunding prisons themselves. It's about actually looking at moving how we show what we care about in capitalist culture, which is our investment, into practices, into relationships, into different ways of having relationship with people who are in crisis and who are in trouble and who are intentionally marginalized, and reallocate our budgets to do that. Not just because it's the right thing to do, but also because the data shows that the way we're doing things is not working. It's not actually keeping us safe. It's not actually working. And so if we can have the courage to lean into something and imagine something better, there's actually so much work done by so many people and so many voices waiting for us to just listen to what we already know is true.
Yes. Naomi.
Wow, that's a hard speech to follow.
Sorry.
No, thank you so much, Corrina, for sharing that. I just want to echo what you said, and also what Amita said earlier about being open to learning and being a student. I am committed to my process of unlearning my miseducation. In regards to police abolition, I think that part of that is to re-educate myself on the history of the existence of the RCMP and police forces in general in colonial states, to serve and protect. When we hear that phrase, I think that a lot of us have been conditioned to, how we've been conditioned to respond to that is to serve and protect us. But really, to serve and protect means to serve the crown and to protect the crown's investments, or the crown's property, which is both people and the land and its resources. And as I said earlier, I don't see a separation between those things. I think that we're all one. And one of the functions of the ideologies that we've been conditioned to follow, is to see those things as separate. And they're not. I feel like I'm getting a little bit off track here, but yeah, in terms of police abolition, why do we give these people so much power? I think we really need to stop and ask ourselves these questions. Why do we think that it's okay for somebody with 4 months of training to have human lives in their hands, to walk around with loaded weapons and literally have a license to kill? Literally, they have a license to kill. I can't think of, there are very, very, very few situations, and these are only in situations of self-defense, where I can see that even being an option or being something that's necessary to have. But I mean, like that, yeah, then it's, anyway, yeah, they're carrying loaded weapons, having licenses to kill. And then when we take a look at the data and the overrepresentation of certain demographics of folks that are being killed by the police or in prison, and then I think that the answers really become apparent as to what the agenda is. Again, serve and protect does not mean serve and protect us. It means to serve and protect the state and its property. And we are not living in an independent country. We're not living in a democracy. This is a constitutional monarchy. That's something actually that I do remember learning in social studies in grade 5 or whatever. We're a constitutional monarchy. I never really gave much thought as to what that meant until recently, when I started going through this process of deconstructing why I view the world the way I do. And I think that if we all took the time to do that, then we can have these honest conversations. But until we do that internal work, then it's just surface.
Amen. I don't know why I keep referring to the Lord today, but
that's all right.
It's in my heart. Thank you so much, both of you, for giving us your introduction and for talking a little bit about abolishing the police, which, as I said, is something that is deeply important to me, has always been, and especially in this moment. Coming up right now, we have a performance by another person from the community who I absolutely adore. Do you remember who it is, Naomi? Because I think you're supposed to shout him out.
I do, and I'm really, really honored and excited to introduce this person, because they are a fantastic artist who's done a lot of great work in the community, working with youth and spreading messages of love and peace and awesomeness through music. I'm so happy to introduce Ndidi Cascade.
Negative tactics, that political acrobatics, that twist lies into truth, that proof is constructed, hunter-deducted, and still we're reluctant to move and prove with the militant. My sound would up the use of metal projectiles or blades. We slaves to comfort and caves of the underground, sipping ground, water eating roots, pursuit of the straight and narrow path, that's the root. Golden vocab is placed in the paragraph, paranormal telegraph into the stratosphere. Just admit it, you know that the poison's a minute, there's no match for fact, pockets and icings that spin around next to infants. From the instinct of evil human do when they got a plan. You have babies having babies and babies killing babies, with poverty surviving the fittest. And so baby, I'm introducing that's richest solution, but castle with water, I think illusion. Addicted it is, my state carves the pattern. Madness continues to Orlando with Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, Mercury, last of all the sun, perhaps today, prophesize the Armageddon, or the age of the Earth School. Told them what shall rule with things that's agreeable, the kingdom brings a grief, so purify your soul and wipe this slate clean. Elevate the seas, see they are kings and queens. Savages cannot overtake divine teams, like neon is no match for light and sunbeams. Hey, everybody rise up, calling us appearances, connected times up. And they try to blind us, on my strong Nubians, Africans we stand glorious. Everybody rise up, calling us appearances, connected times up. And they try to blind us, on the strong Nubians, Africans we stand glorious. They see these drums, the battle drum, running through my veins, I'm a true African. Looking for the sun to dry up the tears on the cheeks of the one. Fear the life of the gunner when they come. Creepers the night, they gon' run. Judgment for all that, pressure to be done. The meek shall inherit the earth, they come first. Global control over souls will be reversed. Till then, you being please know your worth. Forget the short change, arrange and network. White, brown, black, yellow, or red. They keep it separated so they can stay ahead of the game. Pointing the blame at each other will do little to identify the common oppressor. No now your time's up. And you try to blind us. All my strong Nubians, Africans, we stand glorious. Back in the days when I used to count syllables, I began to wonder if I was atypical, too critical, afraid of the ridicule. Little did I know that I could be pinnacle. I started kicking incredible type flows, kids in the front row. How did she write those? I reply, I'ma just credit the most high. If it wasn't for the I would just die. Ndidi, she's so dramatic. Someone got bullied with me, but only just fanatic. Well, they had it, but they was unable to stabilize eyes closed. The moment the truth you don't know, I just buy yourself, you get lies to wealth, cause every other person reflection of the self. And if you travel the battle on the night, it's all beating the battle, battle, the past you will see. The truth, we different lights, and unite, cause I know the truth, that's what's right there. Know the truth, that's what's right there. Know the truth, that's what's right there. If I hang from a cliff by my fingertips, I pray I'll be saved by an emerald ship. If I slip, thick, you'll rips. Look at what happened to Hendrix. Star child into the world using music to bridge tight the black and the white fight back. Go common impression with insight, but he became the target of Shaitan. One more soldier to follow the Babylon, and I swear that'll never happen to me. Happen to be full of divinity, but I admit times when I'm tempted to quit, tempted to trip and slip down off the cliff, but I won't quit with serious gifts to uplift. Uplift Vesuvius, now interrupted. Hey, the try to tackle worth it. Living out the beat, Jesus, my birthday. I'm a new bro, cause I know the smile of a child is worth more than gold. If I came from a clip of my fingertips, I bring up the sleep of the emerald ship. If I slip, then you'll get. Yo, I wanna be a conscious MC, let it be. I wanna write a rhyme in a tree, let it be. I wanna see my fresh trees be the best I can be, so let's be free, let it be. Cause I believe in community, let it be. And I believe in our harmony, let it be. I wanna see how best we can be to invest in the key so the rest can be free, hey. Hey, a clip of my fingertips. I'll be free by the emerald ship. If I slip, then you'll get why it happened. If I came from a clip of my fingertips, I'll be free by the emerald ship. If I slip, then you'll get why did I have to trip? Hey, I said, why did I have to trip? Hey, I said, why did I have to trip? Hey, I said, why did I have to trip? Hey, I said, why did I have to trip? I said, why did I have to trip? Hey, I said, why did I have to trip? Hey, I said, why did I have to trip? Hey, I said, why did I have to trip? People eat organic, but it's so darn expensive. Settle for a house when you gotta have a mansion. People think of progress, they think about expansion. Quantity, not quality, they need to take their action. Always wanna know, but not time for satisfaction. Catching up your ride, you going through a jam. You're meant to be a human, cause a human gotta eat. Let it take a peep without your kicks upon your feet. Love those shiny things, make you happy when it's sparkles. Go reflects the sun. I'd rather make my heart go, the world keeps spinning, and I'm feeling like a cycle. Simple little supplement of levels like nitro. Gotta check my ego, cause I'm feeling like a star. I wasted so much time, I ain't getting far. I feel a lot of energy, I just gotta chill. Getting back to the roots of the tree on a hill. Yeah, but it'll be okay. Gotta tell the youth it'll be okay. Come on, what? And in this world today, gotta tell the people it'll be okay. And everybody say, 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 slide into galactic space that is infinite, digging it deep in the conscious and reverent. I will ever vent love to the heaven sent government, pulling me down in the tenement. Look into my soul, it's so beyond gold. I know my lifeline will never show. Well, as I go, steadily defeat the cold. And that's why I tell love at every show, cause I'm told to keep the faith. I wanna see a smile on every face as I trace back to the origins. Yes, you can say I'm kinda like a born again, not in religion, but revolution, not the solution, ending confusion, cause it's all an illusion. Hey, it's all an illusion, put your hands up, oh, it'll be okay. Gotta tell the youth it'll be okay. Come on, what? And in this world today, gotta tell the
Yo, I don't know about all of you, but I needed that. I had myself a little dance party in my household. To everybody who is in the audience, who is watching, I hope that you're having a magnificent time thus far. We've had some, I mean, I'm not speaking about myself when I say we've had some amazing performances. But we did have 3 incredible performances. We've heard a little bit from my good friend Naomi Grace and also from Corrina Keeling. You have met and experienced the magic that is Amita Kuttner. And now is panel time, baby. We have changed the view so that everybody is available to have their faces seen, so you can see us as we all chat with each other. I would like to thank you, S. Calloway. I appreciate. Oh, Coco, Tonye is dope. Tonye is dope. They're a nice person. I heard that. If you have questions, if you have things that you want to hear from the panelists, if you have, if you're just enjoying what people are saying and you want to, please feel free to use the chat. That is what it is there for. Unfortunately, I cannot hear your voice. I cannot see your face if you're not part of this screen that's right here. So please put all your questions into that box right there. Welcoming to this big old screen, Naomi Grace, Ndidi Cascade, Amita Kuttner, Corrina Keeling, Grace and EJ, aka the Wonder Twins, and also Dakota Bear. Dakota, are you there?
Hey, Tonye,
Got
yes
you.
I am. I'm here.
Perfect. Nice to see you, guy. Thank you so much for your performance. It was absolutely awesome. Always
Thank
love
you.
hearing you perform.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So let's get into it. What an incredible group of human beings that we have gathered here today. I love you all very much. I want to, yes, I will make sure to check. Yes, thank you, Grace. You're such a good guy. Okay, so let's start at the very top. How do we decolonize politics? Small question.
Don't all jump in at once, everyone. It's a simple
So I'm kind of like, as you can see, in the middle of traveling, so I'll be unmuting and muting. I'm here and there, but I can hop in right now. Question: how do we decolonize Canadian politics? And I think a big part of that solution is in incorporating and respecting Indigenous law, which is laws that were here pre-colonial contact, and structures and systems that we have still to this day as Indigenous peoples, our kinship systems, which have been replaced with the child welfare system, a system that does not only not work for Indigenous kids, does not work for kids in general. You can research, you can do the numbers, and you can see how much money is being generated, profiting throughout these organizations, and the funds aren't being allocated properly to programs and services to serve these kids. And that's only one system that we're talking about. We can jump into the next one, which is like the justice system. As you can see, it's failing many walks of life, not only Indigenous peoples, although we are overrepresented, or have overrepresentation within the court system and within the prison system as well. And, there's a long history behind that. But we have Indigenous law, and that's something that only now in 2020, governments are starting to recognize, acknowledge, but we had to fight in the courts, on the land, through many different arenas. We had to fight to even acknowledge that Indigenous peoples have rights and titles to the land. And if you know about the Canadian Constitution, Section 35, that was born out of protest. Indigenous peoples were not mentioned anywhere when the Canadian Constitution was being repatriated from the British. And we weren't mentioned at all. And so a part of that was the Manuel family. If you know, big shout out Tiny House Warriors, Conahoos Manuel, like so much love, so much respect and support to that family. Please check them out, tinyhousewarriors.com or .ca. I'm not too sure, but a part of their family protested, filled up 2 trains, went all the way to Ottawa, even took it a step further, went all the way to Europe, and to have Section 35, a part of that. So that is, just kind of goes to show 2 parts of that, the way that the Canadian state operates and trying to leave us out of these decisions and not consult us when you're building all of these laws on our land. And then the second part of that protesting, actions, gathering actually does work and pushes ahead and makes progress and paves way for future generations. So I just wanted to kind of input that. I'll leave it right there because I'm just going through a drive-through really quickly, put myself on mute, but I just wanted to say that.
Yo, thank you so much.
Drive-through, just out of curiosity.
What are you getting?
I'm actually about to hit the road, so we had to stop at the homie Tim's real quick. But yeah, so we're just getting a little caffeine before we hit the road.
I'll take a double. Thank you very much.
I'm a dad's girl myself, so I was kind of.
I got you.
I lived vicariously through you.
I got you.
Yo, so that's what's up, Amita. What are some of the ways that we can support that, to support bringing Indigenous law into partnership with Canadian law? You are the one who knows the most about Canadian politics. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that might look like?
I can definitely say that from my perspective, it's annoying that there's just this one concept in so-called Canada about what law is. And there is generally a lack of understanding, even from people who are in government, what the foundation actually is and where it comes from, what the meanings are of anything. And it is in complete ignorance of Indigenous law and everything that has existed here for time immemorial. And bringing that forward in general into the conversation at every single moment possible has been kind of my approach, because in no way can I speak from a place of knowledge, but I'm in a position where I can just challenge assumptions on the inside. And that's, to me, the first step of breaking stuff down, is to say, hold on, are you so sure about that? And what are the consequences of this? And I think that Dakota hit an incredibly important point that I've been thinking about looking at policy, which is that there are so many different layers, and every single area of policy and politics needs to be approached from a decolonial lens. And that's, it's not happening in government. So I feel like that's also what we need to do working with a party, is to finally bring those conversations forward. And on my part, it's also to shut up and learn.
You're so sweet. That's what we're all being called to do, is just, I feel like COVID-19 was obviously very bad, but it was also in a big way an invitation. The universe doesn't let up or give you a break. It doesn't. And COVID-19 was like, hey, sit down, read books, know more, realize that you know nothing, first of all, and then try and know more. And just, like you said, just shut up and listen and try and understand what's happening around us. And I'm obviously, I don't love COVID-19 because it's not a nice person, but I do appreciate what, Corrina, your face, like, I do appreciate what it has been able to give us, which is opportunity and time to galvanize ourselves and to really dig into what we need to learn. And for me, in this moment, that's about recognizing how intertwined our fights for justice are. There can't be, we all need justice. Not only one person can have that, Coco. Yes. Powerful revolution time. What I would like to talk about is another, it's not a revolution that's happening, but it's something that's in the public forum so much right now. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday, and I really love where the conversation went. So I want to talk a little bit about cancel culture. How, first of all, is cancel culture a real thing that exists?
Do people experience impacts from it? Absolutely. Do people experience impacts when it isn't done in a way that's healthy and appropriate and considerate of what our human needs are? My experience has been yes. I know that there's, everyone, we talked about this a little bit. I'm sitting here wishing that in some ways that the conversation that we had yesterday, which sort of went on and on forever because we enjoyed talking to each other so much, could have been captured. But I know that all of us in one way or the other exist in spaces and in bodies and in identities that have been impacted by both structural oppression and also by cancel culture, and also that because we don't have mechanisms in place of accountability that really actually take care of victims or survivors, that take care of perpetrators or those who are causing harm and causing violence, because we're not abolishing the police, because we're not abolishing prisons, we are not making space for mechanisms of accountability that allow us to keep ourselves safe, keep each other safe, and make sure that we're all learning. And I think that's really why cancel culture is sort of festering, is because we're not making space for something that actually makes more sense.
I think that cancel culture is a very simplistic response to generally what are quite complex issues. And I think by pushing, it's kind of piggybacking a little bit on what you said earlier, Tonye, by pushing stuff away or pushing things to the margins, we're actually further radicalizing. So, I mean, that depending on, I think that bringing things to the forefront and speaking truth and being able to confront that and work through it is much more healing and impactful than pushing it to the side and pretending it doesn't exist. Another thing that I want to mention is that human beings are lots of things. All of us, we are lots of things. We are not just one thing. We don't fit into boxes. So somebody's like, if you want to label it good or bad, depending on your perspective, but somebody's bad deeds, to cancel everything about that person and completely banish them, or however you want to. Yeah, it's kind of like old timey banishment, really. And I think that we're missing a big opportunity as a collective for healing and also for learning, because again, human beings are lots of things. So if there's something about them that is, and something about their behavior that's violent, or something about their behavior that is not serving the collective, that doesn't mean that there aren't other parts of them that can serve the collective, or that we can learn and grow from. Also, we are all reflections of one another, for better or for worse. So by canceling or banishing those people who are, yes, banished, thou art banished. By banishing those ideas, we're also pushing parts of our own consciousness, pushing it deep down. And that's not truth. That's not honoring our truth as who we are. What's in here is the same as what's out here, for better or for worse. And we need to face the things that are uncomfortable and hold our seat through that discomfort, so that we can grow and move forward.
I'm so glad you mentioned discomfort, because it's also what we're actually doing is by canceling those who have done the bad deed, or who have violated our social agreements. And some people are causing true harm, and there needs to be accountability held for that. And victims or survivors or people who are impacted by that do need to be have good boundaries and be protected. But by doing that, we're not willing to lean into the discomfort of accepting that all of us are complicit, and all of us in one way or another are participating in a culture and in a society that is harming people. So by pointing fingers and saying, there's the problem over there, we're not actually healing the inherent discomfort and the inherent wounds that we need to shift all of our minds. The policing doesn't just happen in the police, it's happening but in our communities, it's happening with the way that we judge each other. It's happening where we police ourselves. So it's not just that we need to dismantle the police and address cancel culture structurally, within those bodies, but we need to change our minds and change the way that we have a relationship with harm, and shift from punishment to true accountability. And there's mechanisms, there's so many mechanisms, restorative justice, transformative justice, community accountability processes that are ready and waiting for us to embrace.
Yes.
Again, it's like you said earlier, these are not actually new conversations. The things that we need, the tools that we are grasping for, are actually already there. It's just, it's an exciting time. Okay, so my next question is, again, related to police. What, if you could, Corrina, you kind of touched on it a little bit. Imagine for me, and I'll start with Ndidi on this question because we haven't heard from your sweet voice yet. What would a world without police look like for you?
Okay, so talking about boundaries. So it's like redefining what these boundaries are, right? Setting up boundaries so that we are safe, but putting funding, of course, into community initiatives, such as housing and education and social services and that sort of thing. So a world would look like, well, in my mind, I feel that we have the resources right now on planet Earth for every human to follow their life purpose. And if we are not following our life purpose as humans, that's when aggression and depression begins, right? So that's why when I work with youth, that's the one thing that I really try to catalyze within them, is to find that life purpose, right? Through being creative, through arts, music, whatever it takes, whatever your purpose is, you need to have it, and you need to find it, and you need to have the liberation to actually grow within it. If you are existing in an oppressed state of existence, it's going to be very challenging. Or if you're in survival mode, it's going to be extremely challenging for you to find any sense of life purpose. And so in my mind, a world like that would, all humans on this planet would be following life purpose in a very safe environment, an environment that is safe for everyone, not just the chosen few.
Yes. So basically Star Trek is what you're saying?
Yeah.
It sounds like that. I'm just saying it sounds like that.
Yeah, or the crystal existence, right? Like, you know, what the idea of like human evolution is supposed to look like, really. Human spiritual, intellectual, creative evolution is supposed to look like, where we hear all voices, not just the voices of a few. You know, everyone is represented. And as one human race on this really precious planet that we live on, where, you know, the chances of us being here, each one of us right now having this conversation, is one in like trillions. Right? If you think about how the planet was, you know, created, and evolution of all humans and all the sperm and the eggs, like to this moment, it is so precious. Every human is so precious. And if we don't hear all of our voices and we don't connect on this precious planet, it's such a waste. Yeah. It is such a waste.
Yeah.
100%. So
fully agree with you.
Yeah.
It's such a gift to be able to recognize like that we are living through an incredible moment, and that to look around, I mean, I can't see everybody who's watching, but to see all of your faces and know that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, those are fake people. 7 people, at least 7 or 8 people that recognize and get what an incredible moment this is, and how powerful it is to know the truth and to fight for it, and to fight for it in collaboration and in coalition with like-minded folks. And all should be able to live long and prosper, says Zambu.
I want to speak to that exact feeling, because it's so beautiful, and thank you for, as I said, it is expressed so well and clearly, because that's what drives me, is living in that gratitude of this amazing existence, and then coming up against that overwhelming injustice and saying, wait, what is it that we could all be and give to each other and provide, and then share that feeling and that just expression of existence and expression of the universe itself that we all are, and giving people that, you know, that's also what drives me to want to make sure that we get past the divisions and we understand each other, because we are here together.
Forever.
No, I think, Amita, I love what you just said, that and what, you know, indeed, it's just this cascading goodness, but that we are all here together, and what would happen if we actually made space for all of the kinds of people that are here, you know, like what if we can imagine that, you know, it's I think so much of what is preventing us from arriving at a place where there's equity and there's justice and everyone, space is made for everyone, is of course it's policy, and of course it's, you know, but ultimately I think it's just fear. I think that those who hold structural power are afraid, and so much of that fear is because there's so much healing to do, you know, it just makes me, I jotted down as we were having a conversation yesterday, just this idea that the fear of sharing power is just a projection of what those who have power have done with it. The idea that if for people in power to imagine what it might be like to share it forces them to confront, you know, what those with power historically have done with it. And that's a terrifying thing to have to confront, either within yourself in your own lifetime or historically in your lineage, especially for those of us who are settlers. I think, you know, you talked about imagination, and Amita, I love that comes up constantly in what you talk about, is imagining something better. And I think part of imagination is confronting, turning and confronting our history so that we can sit with the actual truth of what's happening and what's been happening and what might continue to happen if we don't really take the time to redirect the ship.
Yeah. I'm resonating so deeply with what you're saying, Corrina. And I know that, like, when we had our you know, pre-conversation yesterday, one of the things that came up was, well, let's just like drop truth, and, you know, even if it's shocking. So I think that this needs to be a part of the conversation that hasn't, I don't hear very often, but Europe has been under colonization for thousands of years. So that kind of mentality of like ownership, and that's something, it's intergenerational trauma, and the idea of being in allegiance to an ideology rather than to self or the earth. That is something that is like, that's a colonial idea, and that's an ideology that's meant to keep people under control. And when, you know, European settlers came here, that's because, like, through generations, they had already been conditioned to that ideology. And so I think a part of this decolonial work we need to do and I'm speaking also to my own heritage as well, part of my ancestry is Western European as well. So even like, you know, going through the process of unlearning that is a process that I'm going through myself. But I think it's something that we all need to do and understand, that as human beings, we should be in allegiance to the earth and not to human ideas.
Yes. That stuff is made up.
And that is possible. But that's not a lofty pie in the sky far away from there are people who are still living that reality here and now, and that all we have to do is turn and look to them, look to Indigenous people, look to people who are still living in relationship with the earth, and listen to what they've been saying this whole time.
Yep, 100%. If we saw a bird that was ripping apart a tree and like throwing twigs out of its nest and, like, you know, we'd think that there was something wrong with that bird, because there probably is something wrong with that bird. That's kind of a sign of sickness.
And we probably wouldn't punish it. We would probably try and check if it was okay.
Yeah, exactly. And when we look around at what collectively that dominant culture has, like the ideals that have been imposed on us from dominant culture, it's sick. Destroying our home, destroying our own bodies is sick. It's a sickness. And this time of truth is calling us to deeper healing. And this is a beautiful thing. But yes, Corrina, the answers are there. The knowledge, the wisdom is there. It's just been suppressed. It's been suppressed. And we've been conditioned to see this when really this exists. But we need to be in right relationship with ourselves and with the planet in order to really embrace those truths in a real and impactful way.
Feel you 100%. I just want to say that I love you all very much. And I respect you all so deeply for all the work that you're doing. And I'm so grateful that we get to sit and we've had a few conversations, but I'm so grateful that we are able to sit and have these conversations, because I'm not going to lie to you. I feel a lot of the time that I am having wild ideas that are too much for life. But to be able to sit with others and hear my thoughts echoed back at me, I feel so hopeful. I feel so hopeful. And I know that, like I said, there's at least 8 other people who recognize that the system we're living in is entirely messed up. It's messed up. It's messed up. Okay, it is 2:37 p.m. We are running a tiny little bit behind schedule. So I want to say again to each and every one of you who came, who is participating in this beautiful conversation, thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for the work that you continue to do in community. Holla at me if there's anything that I can do to assist any one of you. Grace and EJ, please holler at me at the same time, because the dynamic duo, the Wonder Twins in concert, is always so great. I love it. Okay, so the next portion of this incredible Ignite Live, a concert for people, power, justice, is going to be taken over by my good friends, the Wonder Twins, aka Grace and EJ. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a little pledge drive. At the beginning of this event, Amita expressed to all of us their disdain with the system that is politics and also fundraising. But when you have ideas like these, you need support. And one of the incredible things that blew my mind about Amita and their campaign was the fact that they decided to walk away from the equity support, or the diverse, what is it called? Amita, will you jump in?
Equity seeking, there was supposed to be some fundraising support for equity seeking groups, and it was one of the most unequitable systems that I've ever come upon. It was completely just missing the point of intersectionality and of community representation and socioeconomic factors about the people who would support certain candidates based on their philosophies, and the policy that's necessary for overwhelming change is perhaps not the ones that tend to be supported by people with a lot of money. So I couldn't participate in the unequitable equity seeking group support system. So I'm not, because principles first. And I just want to say too, I completely agree with everything you said, Tonye, and I'm overwhelmingly grateful. And if there's anything I can, this is your movement, and I want to do the best I can and with my team to make it flourish, but in the way that you and we all believe that it will actually be the most healthy.
And with that, let's get into it. Grace, EJ, you're up.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Grace Sanatz, and I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Emma Jane, and I use she, her pronouns.
And I just have to start by saying I think we're both absolutely honored to be able to stand on the same stage as all of these people.
Yeah.
I feel out of place. I can't believe what I just listened to. I am so privileged. I'm so honored to be here today. And I would like to recognize that we are visitors on the unceded and stolen lands of the Lekwungen speaking peoples and the Wasanic peoples, who have been the true stewards and owners of this land since time immemorial. And I know Tonye has said it, and I know Amita has said it, but we are going to rephrase it again because it is absolutely important. Fundraising should not be at the heart of a political campaign. We know it's unequitable, and we know it's capitalistic, and it is not what the Greens should stand for, and it is not what this campaign should stand for.
However, we do have to abide by the leadership contest rules. So that's kind of the reason why we have to do it. So with that out of the way, we're going to start this new section of our event, which is the pledge drive. So you'll see a link in the chat box where it'll link to a pledge drive. And basically what that will ask you is to fill out your name, your email, and how much money you would like to donate.
We will have a donation thermometer going up that'll live track how much everyone has pledged and how close we are to our goal of $10,000. So we are going to start from the top at the max donation a single person can give, which is $1,625. With this amount of money, we are able to support our volunteers through socially distanced volunteer events. As you know, our team is always super hard at work putting on events like these to make change and to educate people on the issues that are most important. And of course, we want to celebrate our volunteers and also feed them too. So if you would like to donate that much money, please say so in the chat, give us a holler, fill out the pledge form so we can watch that thermometer rise.
And the next amount of money that we're going to be asking for is $1,500. With this amount of money, we can reach over 6,000 Green members across what is so-called Canada. And if you would like to pledge that amount of money, please say so in the chat now, and don't forget to click the pledge form.
The next amount of money we're going to be asking for is $1,400 to $1,200. And with this, we are able to send over 5,000 informational cards to Green members across Canada, especially in ridings that are normally left out of Green notification. We also are able to make sure that these are sustainably sourced in a way that supports local businesses and doesn't hinder the environment.
So if you would like to pledge that much, please say so in the chat, and don't forget to click the pledge form. The next amount of money we're going to be asking for is $1,100 to $900. And for this, we can fill 14 volunteer hours, and a lot of our volunteers have been left out of the CERB and the CESV, so that is really important to us as well. So if you would like to donate that much, please say so in the chat now, and fill out the pledge form.
Next, we're asking for $800 to $600. And with this much money, we can hold another event just like this one. And I'm sure a lot of you know that Zoom events are quite pricey and they tend to be very hard to organize. And we just want to be able to accommodate as many people as possible on a webinar like this. And we want to be able to educate people on the issues that are most important, which is so many in this day and age.
Yeah, so please say so in the chat if you are pledging that amount of money, and don't forget to fill out that pledge form. The next amount of money we're going to be asking for is $500 to $300. With this amount of money, we can create a truly member-driven and member-created message that we can spread throughout the Green community. So if you would like to donate that much, please say so in the chat now.
As Amita has said before, every single one of our campaign's policies come from what the Green members believe in. And that is absolutely essential. And we want to be able to reach as many volunteers across Canada as possible, but we need your help to do that.
Yeah. So finally, the last section of donations we're going to be asking for is $40 to $10. And with this, we can really produce amazing videos and share our message with Greens again through online connection, as that's really hard to do in-person events right now with COVID and everything like that. So yeah, if you'd like to donate that much, please say so in the chat.
And if that went quite quickly, which I'm sure it did, just so you know, feel free to still put in any pledge form. You do not have to put in a specific amount like we mentioned. Any amount helps, and every donation is deeply appreciated right now. I would like to pass it back to Tonye Aganaba to talk a bit more about donations and a bit more about what our campaign speaks for.
Yo, what's up, party people? It is I again, Tonye Aganaba. Big thanks to Grace and EJ. What a couple of wonder twins. Wonderful stuff. We actually had a really great conversation yesterday about the conversation was about language and the way that the things that we name. And we had a conversation about the pledge drive, because normally it's called another thing. And the conversation that we had basically led us to kind of examine some of the things that we say that we don't even realize how where they get their roots and where they come from. And yeah, so glad we changed the name to a pledge drive. Much better. For those of you that donated, really appreciate you participating and you putting your money where your mouth is. Political campaigns are extremely expensive, and I am just very new to understanding the process of what it takes to actually get elected as the leader of the Green Party of so-called Canada, and it's an expensive racket, which is wild to me, because rich people shouldn't be in power.
Can I speak to that just a little bit?
Get in there.
So to be able to even get on the ballot, we have to raise, well, we've already done 10,000 of it. We have to raise $20,000 just to exist in that process. And that's before we manage to put on events, to actually reach people, to pay for the huge amount of work that's being done, because that is more valuable than the rest of the stuff that most people are asked to do. And yet it's mostly just contributed out of wishing for a different future. And to participate and to actually win, it means that I need to get a bunch of votes. And the people that vote for a leader in a party are the members of that party. So if you can get as many people as you know to join the party if you go through my website, which is amitakuttner.ca, then we get the $10 membership fee. And again, I also acknowledge that joining a party can be a colonizing experience. So if it's not comfortable, no pressure there. But there's only actually about 25,000 members in the party. And those are the people who are going to shape who the Greens put on the stage. And we can own this conversation, because out of those numbers, it's not 100% voter turnout. And if we get everybody we know to get on board, we're there. And we really do get to take that stage. So other than, donations help us get on the ballot, they help us actually be able to make the campaign happen, which means getting the message out there, even if we don't win. But more than anything, we need people to join and get the vote out when we get there. And the deadline to join the party is around September 1st. And the vote will be at the end of September into the beginning of October.
I just want to share that I am I don't know if I should say this out loud, a very reluctant Green Party member. I joined the Green Party at the suggestion of one of my very good friends, Mr. Frank Fleming, wonderful soul. And the reason why I joined is because he was able to show me that there is another option, in terms of there is one party, the Green Party, who unfortunately, because of the way that our system works, isn't taken particularly seriously on the federal stage, but in community, they have an incredible track record of motivating and bringing people to the table around conversations that people aren't necessarily willing to have on the national stage, talking seriously about climate change, which seems absolutely ridiculous if people don't want to do that realistically. But what I see now, and why I joined, is the fact that there's a huge opportunity there. There's a huge opportunity to take this thing that we love and we're fighting for, which is the planet, and also understand that the planet is the people, is the animals, is the future, it's all related. And if we can try to give a message as the Greens that we're not here for politicking, actually. We are literally here to connect with the people, and imaginary Frank. We are here to connect with the people and understand what it is that they want and they need. That's a space that the Green Party can occupy all on its own, because the NDP aren't doing it meaningfully. The Liberals, they're too busy with we. And so I just see this as an incredible moment that you can capitalize on, because you understand it. And I don't know if there's anybody else that I truly believe in this moment that can do that. So if you haven't donated, if you haven't signed up for the pledge, please do so. If it's something that you don't feel like you can do in this moment because COVID times, there are a million other ways to support people. Head to Amita's website to find out more ways that you can do that. Share this information with your friends. If you have a rich uncle, just go ahead and tell them to donate.
Also, doors open on the campaign. We have a lovely starship, an amazing crew, headed for an incredible future that looks something like Star Trek. Similarities there. And we're honestly, politics really has been it's just an ugly, disgusting, internally feeling process. And this campaign hasn't been. It's been full of joy and love and learning and improvement. And it's more beautiful than I could have imagined. So this is what we want to turn the Green Party into. We want to make it ours. We want to make it this, not the colonial remnant that every party, or not even a remnant, but colonial entity that the parties are in their starting form, but take it over and challenge everything from the inside.
I'm here for that. And I joined the team to volunteer because I 100% believe in you. Absolutely. If you are interested in joining the team, if you head into the chat, you will see a link there that will help you to sign up. Just above that, if you want to join the party and vote for Amita as leader, you can sign up there. And if you did not catch the opportunity to make a donation, if you head a little bit further up in the chat, you will see a link to the Google Doc where you can just write in your pledge. So far, pledges are sitting at $2,585, which is not no dollars. That's not zero. So I'm very happy. Amita, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great because I am so still overflowing with gratitude and appreciation and love for all of you. Nothing's going to change that. And it's great. It's significant and really people power means more people being able to give a little, because a lot of us and a lot of people on the team do not have the means to do so. And that's because of the systems we're in. So the more people we get, everybody puts in a little, then we get that change for all of us.
I believe it. Naomi Grace, human being that I love so, so, so much. Please, one more time, just for the gang, for the group, please tell everybody where they can find you, where they can connect with your work, what you're going to be doing next, and anything else you would like to share.
Sure. Melanin Rising Apparel, our official website will be launched on July 23rd, which is not coincidentally Haile Selassie's birthday, but anyway, that's a whole other rant maybe. So www.melaninrisingapparel.com. So all of our brand new shirts that are not available right now will be launched at that date. We're also planning, COVID permitting, a launch party probably sometime in August. But yeah, right now I think the name of the game with everybody is just hurry up and wait. So we don't really know what's going to happen a few weeks down the road, but that's kind of where my mind is at. And also euphony.works is the anti-racism consultancy. That being said, my focus right now, and I really think that the real way to promote change right now, rather than to, my focus right now is on my art. I think that's the most impactful way to create change, and with the tools that I have. If you want to support my art, you can purchase a shirt from www.melaninrisingapparel.com. And yeah.
Thank you so much, sweet angel. Corrina Keeling, give us a blast quick.
Thank you so much for having me here. You can follow me on Instagram at Love Letters for Everybody, lovelettersforeverybody.ca. But more importantly than the work that I'm doing, I'm part of a project called Just Recovery for All, and it embodies a lot of the principles that any policy can really be built upon in order to make sure that we're bringing everybody with us in a transition, not just out of this pandemic, but from 400 years of colonial violence and racism. And I think for me, if I'm gonna drop the mic with something, I think it's please lean into your healing journeys. Please know that the work that we're doing right now is unprecedentedly difficult. And the more that we take care of ourselves and are radically honest with ourselves about the way that we are complicit, the more we're going to be prepared to show up in a good way. And I ask that of everyone who's doing political work, everyone who's doing creative work. And don't let anyone tell you that the things that you are imagining are not possible, because the only thing that's holding us back is being afraid.
Yes. So there was just one more thing, sorry, T, that I forgot to mention. I also volunteer with Hogan's Alley Society. And for those of you who are not familiar with Hogan's Alley was a multicultural, multi-ethnic community in Vancouver that was home to much of Vancouver's Black population. In the name of urban renewal that happened all across Turtle Island in the 1970s, the people who lived in that community were displaced, and Hogan's Alley Society is working to reunify the Black community here on these lands. Thank you for dropping the link, Tonye. And they're doing some great work. So part of the work that they have done is to create low barrier housing for folks on the downtown east side, prioritizing the housing of Indigenous folks and folks of African descent. They're doing some great work through gardening, and they also have the mentality or the approach of stewarding land rather than land ownership, which I think is really important. So they're doing lots of great work in the community. So please support them through the link that is posted below. And yes, redropping Tiny House Warriors.
Ndidi Cascade.
Family.
Ndidi Cascade, jump in here, baby.
Yes. Okay, so if you want to connect with me, the best thing to do is just to check out my website. So that's ndidicascade.ca. So that's NDIDICASCADE.ca. And on there, actually, I have a page dedicated to Black businesses and causes that you can support. So definitely check that master list out. And so I am available at any time to do any kind of youth work with hip hop education. I do a lot of hip hop education school programs. So I'm listed with Art Starts, but you can just also connect with me directly just through my website or my Instagram, which is Ndidi Cascade Music on Instagram, Ndidi Cascade Music. Big up.
Thank you. Big up. Thank you so much. We have approximately 3 minutes left before we dance. Yeah, I made a playlist of incredible music. Maybe one of the fine folks who are helping us to manage the tech can drop the link into the chat here so that people can follow that playlist. As I mentioned before, it's got a lot of incredible local artists on it. I didn't include the artists from today because you already heard their music, but I will add them to the playlist as it grows because gotta do it. My name has been Tonye Aganaba. We have heard today from Naomi Grace. We have heard from Ndidi Cascade. We have heard from the absolutely incredible and fantastic Corrina Keeling. We have also, Wilkes, I love you, man. We've also been introduced and heard the inner workings of the beautiful mind of Amita Kuttner, who is running for the leadership of the Green Party of so-called Canada. You brave, brave soul. I just want you to know that I have your back because that's a journey that, as you said, it's not super pleasant. But once I was having a conversation with somebody not too long ago, and we were talking about when Black and Indigenous people get into positions of power and what can potentially go wrong, or when any person of color gets into a position of power. When you are in a position of power and you look around you and you see nobody that's like you, that's not how that's supposed to work. You're supposed to get into a position of power and look around and see people like you. So I am here. All of these beautiful souls are here. And I know that give them one of those. We're here to surround you and to support you and to help to not keep you on the straight and narrow so you don't go dark side, but keep you on the straight and narrow so you don't go dark side. Because we know how easy it is to do that as a politician. It's super easy. But listen, I have the ultimate hope in you. I think that you are such a brilliant soul, such a capable human being, so sweet and kind. And we need real human beings like you in positions of power. And also we need people that are willing to hear like this, like we've done today, directly from the community and directly from the artists, the activists, the organizers, Nico, the activists, the organizers, and the people in community that are doing this work on a day-to-day basis, that are living this work every single day. And I really feel like we've got an incredible group of people here that are doing that. It is exactly 3 p.m. And by my watch, that's dance party time. So for the next 10 minutes, we're going to have some incredible tunes playing. The playlist is in the bottom of the chat right there. Please follow it. It's on my husband's Spotify. So he's going to be very happy to have a lot of new followers. To each and anyone hoping to save the links in this chat, you can save the whole chat by clicking the button with 3 dots and selecting Save Chat. If you are interested in copying all of these links, there's 3 little dots at the bottom of the chat. Click it, and it's going to say Save Chat, and you can connect with all those links that we gave you today. Please also, yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I think we'll try to endeavor to send out an email to everybody that attended with follow-up information about it.
You're wonderful.
I pledge in all of this that because I don't really want the power, so it's for all of us, because I don't want to be corrupted by it, and so it is the team, and I could not do it without everyone. So thank you so much.
I love you. Let's get it popping. I'm trying to dance. Let's do it.
pain, bringing in that pain. Mr. D got pain, pressured up with pain. When music hits that pain, all I do is pain. Mr. D got pain, pain. I don't think you understand that my pain is your pain and I paint it again. Yeah. I don't think you understand that my pain is your pain and I paint it again. Yeah. Musical artist with the art of trauma. Goes beyond my era, this my mama's mamas. All my papa's papas. Been in us 4 years, no need to stop at all. Add any commas, the stories unfold like there's no need to cover. Judged by the hook or what's really under. Call it diamond in the rough. I'm the sun with the thunder. No Michelangelo, but who is she? Wanna know Mona, beyond Lisa, left eye. The tears, the scars, no surprise. More to the story that meets you and I guess I carry more than just your smile. I don't think you understand that my pain is your pain and I paint it again. Yeah. I don't think you understand that my pain is your pain and I paint it again. Yeah. Your mirror, mirror, pain in my past, present, and my future. Who did the dishes to make it any cleaner? Is this another dimension? A deja vu that is yours, bro, my curse and my blessing. All the empathy that I'm feeling got me bottled up, sponge up, saved by this hip-hop. When music hits you feel no pain. Got my brush on my mic in these pain things. Pick my soul with this art I keep painting. I don't think you understand that my pain is your pain and I paint it again. Yeah. I don't think you understand that my pain is your pain and I paint it again. Yeah. Healing out pain, turn it to pain. 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 Pressured up with pain, Mr. D got pain. All I do is pain, Mr. D got pain. Hey, 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 pain, 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 pain. Listen, I don't think you understand that my pain is your pain and I paint it again. Pain.
Love all your dance moves. You look fantastic. This is another one by one of my favorite local groups. They are called Curtis Clearsky and the Constellation. This song is called Mobilize.
Mobilize and motivate.
Organize, it's time to take.
Wake up, hold and have the faith.
Natural balance in its place.
Mobilize and motivate.
Organize, it's time to take.
Wake up, hold and have the faith.
Natural balance in its place. Mobilize.
truth loud. Rock like this, talk like this. Nothing but love up in this mix. Time never waits, maintaining momentum. Go get them dreams and goals for the people, for your soul. Out of this world, into the light. Visualize into the light. It's my nature, it's my essence. All in one into the present. Mobilize and motivate.
Organize, it's time to take.
Wake up, hold and have the faith.
Let your balance in its way.
Mobilize and motivate.
Organize, it's time to take.
Wake up, hold and have the faith.
Let your balance in its way. Mobilize and motivate. Organize, it's time to take. Wake up, hold and have the faith. Let your balance. Whoa.
I didn't expect to dance that hard. I did not expect to dance that hard. I am sweating a little bit. It is 3:09 p.m. This event is supposed to be ending at 3:10. I just want to take a quick moment to thank each and every one of you I'm assuming you're all human beings. Each and every one of you human beings that made it here today. Thank you so much for coming out. Ooh! I see my baby in there. What's up, Janelle Reed? How you doing? It's such a pleasure to be with you, to be surrounded by faces that I know and love. You're all so cute. You're all so beautiful. This is only the beginning. This is our first attempt at trying to make fundraising on the internet a real thing. And I think so far, it's not bad. It's been a wonderful time. You have all the links. Please save the chat if you would like to connect with some of the links that were shared here today. Amita Kuttner is the person who is running for the leadership of the Green Party of so-called Canada. Please, if you can't support financially, support with your energy. Read their campaign, read their platform. It is absolutely... Sorry, I'm not allowed to do that anymore. It's very good. Definitely recommend reading it. It's 3:10 p.m. My name is Tonye Aganaba. This has been Ignite Live, a concert for people-powered justice. I see hearts being made at me, and I love you both very much. Where's my son, Captain Kirk? Bring him to me. My baby, my furry baby. I love you all so much. What's up, Siobhan? I love you all so much. You're all excellent people. Amita Kuttner for the leadership of the Green Party of Canada. I was going to say a swear word, but I won't. Love you very much. Be safe, not sorry. Enjoy the music.